What's up, YouTube? So here we are again, sanded back down, so to speak. So I did a chemical stripping of the paint. I was able to get through several layers. Everything that's left, I plan to just sand. Pretty much gonna go back down to basically bare metal. I'm not gonna worry about any of the body work when I sand. The plan is to sand it, get it as decent as possible, and then I'm gonna hit it with the epoxy to cover everything up. And then I'll go around and I'll check the body work, and if there's anything that needs touching up, I'll do that over the top of the epoxy. And that way, any bare metal is sealed. People will argue whether you should do your body work and epoxy over it, or whether you should epoxy and then do your body work. You can do it either way, honestly, but in this case, I'm gonna epoxy first, since that's what I did to start with, and then I'll do any touch-ups. And there'll be a few. It's nothing significant, but you can kind of see all the different colors that's been on this car. We've had, of course, the primers, the high build primers, the epoxy primers, the black base coat, which you can see on the hood, which is what we did right before we did the chameleon paint. All the different purples. And like I say, that was the reason that I decided to strip it back down. It was just too thick of paint, and I don't want that much paint on the car, and so stripped it back down. Once again, I got to second guessing the color that I wanted to go. I was really thinking about doing that same purple, which you could still see some of it here if you haven't seen the other videos. I was really thinking about doing that, but I changed my mind. I'm actually gonna do the original color that I was gonna paint this car when I first started planning this build, which is a green that is very similar to what's on the hood scoop. I really feel like that's gonna be the best color. I think it would look really good. I may have to change some of the powder coated stuff. We'll see once we get the green on the car what needs to be changed. Obviously we got that green chin, so I may either have to do it black or maybe wrap it in carbon fiber. I don't know, we'll see on that, but green is the color, that's it. I'm not changing it again. I'm gonna paint it green and we're gonna be done with the paint job. I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy as far as ha-has or anything like that. I think just solid green, and then maybe at some point in the future, I might have somebody do some airbrushing on it. But for now, I think green is just gonna be the way to go. Should look really good. Kind of give you guys an idea, you know. And also the green will hide imperfections if there is any. There's really not much imperfections on this car as far as the bodywork goes, but any waviness, things like that, the green will help hide that better than the purple would have. So that's a plus with that, but that's what I decided to do. I wanted to get an update video out so that you guys could see what I've been doing all weekend, and that's just stripping the car. This was the majority of my weekend anyway. I had my brother over with his car, and I had to work on his car as well, so I didn't get a full weekend on it, but I got a pretty good bit done. I'm happy with it. If you're curious at how thick this paint actually is, you can look up here at the roof right there. That's how many layers of paint. It's hard to really get that on camera, but that's a lot of paint. And then this is a little bit of epoxy. This was the original epoxy that was applied to the car, and then you can see it's epoxy with bare metal. And so still got to sand all this crap off. I don't think I'm going to use any more chemical stripper. I think at this point just sanding is going to be the way to go, and so that's what we're doing. I'm not gonna get in any rush on this thing. I wanna sand everything down, get all the jams, and try to have as complete as a paint job as possible and really just make this thing look a lot better. The wheels and tires, I had already planned on getting rid of these wheels and tires at some point, and definitely I don't really like them. They may look better with the car being green than it would have looked with it purple, especially with that being a different color purple than what was on the car. They may look okay. We'll see once we get it painted, but at some point these wheels and tires are gonna go and we're gonna get something better. But that's where we're at. Like I say, just a weekend of getting paint off. I'll get out here next weekend and I'll start on the main body, just get all the big stuff sanded and ready for epoxy. And then maybe here in a week or 2 or 3, I'll start on all the jams. All of those will have to be sanded, and then we'll get the epoxy on, and then we'll get the green and the clear, and hopefully finally be done with this car. But I did get to drive it. It's running and driving now. The hood is not mounted, it's just sitting on there, but drove it a little bit. I'm happy with it, and there's gonna be more upgrades obviously coming in the future with the suspension and whatnot, but I want to get this build done so that I can start prepping for the next build, and then we'll have 2 cars. But that's going to be it for this Sunday update. I just wanted to get a video out for you guys, show y'all what we were doing, and we'll see y'all next week.